I am shocked. I am genuinely shocked. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be making some keto vegan dishes. Didn't even realize that could exist because keto and vegan usually don't go together, because if you do that, you're limited to like 2 ingredients, but we're gonna do it anyways. Today we're making lasagna with eggplant. Gonna be good, I think. Hey, I made the dish, so we'll see. Let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna need a couple eggplants, and it looks just like the emoji. I am so sad. Is eggplant even vegan? Sounds like a chicken byproduct. No, it's not a chicken byproduct. It's just a plant that looks like an egg. That's why it's called the eggplant, I guess. But we need 2 of these. We also need 2 tablespoons of salt, not seasoning, for sweating, and 3 tablespoons of olive oil or avocado oil. The reason why we're using eggplants is because we're using them as the layers for the lasagna. How that's gonna work, I don't know, but we're here to find out. Let's get the good old trusty cutting board. Let's get the salt as well. Ooh, that's not a lot of salt. We're gonna have to get the big boy thing of salt. Hell yeah. What does keto even mean? Keto is low carb and extremely low sugar, high fat. So whenever you're on a keto diet, you are basically forcing yourself to go into ketosis, and the only way to do that is to reduce your carbs so much that your body no longer uses carbs for energy, it uses your body fat for energy. And that's how I was able to lose approximately actually almost 30 pounds at this point. Fun fact, eggplants are called like so because originally they were small and white before being so altered. Interesting, I did not know that. And then avocado oil or olive oil. We have both, guys. Are we using avocado oil or are we using olive oil today? You guys decide. Avocado needs to be hot. There will be a little bit of heat, so I will use the avocado oil. Slice the eggplants lengthwise into 1/4 inch thick planks. So this is a vegan keto, which are 2 words that shouldn't go together. Okay. So while I do this, we all get to experience the fact that I don't know how to cut. Lengthwise, no. You might be right, you might be onto something. That's okay, these are the corner pieces. Did you guys hear the sonic boom that happened? My parents were a lot closer to the landing of Orion than I was. And apparently they might have been able to hear the sonic boom. This is gonna be weird, guys. I'm already gonna tell you, this is gonna be a very strange dish. How do I cut this without cutting me? The eggplant is ripe AF. Yeah, it is. I taught you how to slice veggies when you were like 2. Yeah, you also taught me how to boot up Duke Nukem 3D whenever I was 2. I retained that knowledge a little bit better, I feel. Okay, that part will be just whatever we feel like. I now feel bad, you should have just cut it the way you did. I know. That one came out actually pretty good. See, I'm learning. Maybe invest in a mandolin. What the hell is a mandolin? This is where it gets kind of dicey and extremely bad. All right, guys, this is clearly not gonna be one of my victorious episodes, but you know, we're doing our best over here. Maybe holding it with the joints near the blade as to not cut your fingers. Oh yeah, but then if I do that, then it kind of slides off. It's weird. It's like when you see a deli where they slice the meat and stuff and rolling it back and forth against, oh, that, yeah, I'm not fancy like that. I always order my food from Sprouts because it just feels like it's organic, it's good. But does organic actually mean anything? Okay, I'm putting these over here. By the way, this recipe came from Gemini. All the previous ones came from ChatGPT. If it does horribly, we understand why. We're blaming Gemini, guys. We're blaming Gemini. Lay them on paper towels and sprinkle generously with salt. Let them sit for 20 minutes. So we're gonna do just that. We need more paper towels. Okay, that's 1. Sprinkle generously with salt. All right, we're gonna put it over here and do the next one. Watch, it turns out to be like the best thing ever. Honestly, I'm like half expecting disaster, but you never know. All right, I feel like that's good enough. We're not gonna be using all of this. We put these off to the side and we let these sit for 20 minutes. We're also gonna preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Eggplants are like water sponges. You put the salt on it and it makes it sweat out the water through a process called osmosis. It'll bring out all the water so that whenever we actually put it into the lasagna, it's not gonna be a soggy mess whenever it's cooking. What we're gonna do now is prepare the cheesy part of the filling. We're gonna get a large bowl so that we can crumble the tofu into it without making a huge mess. Extra firm tofu. It didn't say to dry it out, so I'm kind of curious if I even need to do anything with it besides drain it. Crumble the tofu with your hands until it looks like ricotta cheese. Looks like ricotta cheese a little bit. Tofu doesn't really taste like anything. You can eat it like this. It just doesn't taste like anything. I can never get behind the flavor of tofu. Tofu is usually that thing that you add because you're like, I want protein, because tofu is really high in protein, but you have to mask it with other things. To prove that you can eat tofu, you can just eat it like straight. Again, it just tastes like a sponge. Let's get our nutritional yeast. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Dried oregano. I have oregano seasoning, I hope that works. Some fresh basil. Before I put any of that stuff into the bowl, I have to chop up this stuff. Let's go and give it a proper wash first. Let's see if this is half a cup right here. That was pretty much exactly half a cup. Nice. We use basil for almost everything for Pinoy food. I love basil, man. Ooh, this stuff is new. Unopened even. 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. So the cheesy layer is solid, not creamy. Nah, apparently not. Yeah, that smells really cheesy actually. We also need white miso paste. 1 teaspoon of that actually. And then salt and pepper to taste. Add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. We use nutritional yeast and miso because they are packed with glutamates. Glutamate is the molecule responsible for umami, that savory, mouth-watering sensation. Since we aren't using aged Parmesan, these 2 ingredients trick your brain into thinking it's eating fermented dairy. Plus, the tofu provides the structure. As it bakes, the protein sets slightly, giving you that classic ricotta mouthfeel. Next thing we need is the sugar-free marinara sauce. This stuff is Moyer Glen organic stuff. Classic marinara, no sugar added. So technically keto. Tomatoes are very high in carbs, but it's low enough to where we can make it work. Now we need the baking dish. Is this 9 inches by 13? 9, yeah, 9 by 13. Spread a thin layer of marinara at the bottom of a 9 by 13 baking dish. 1.5 cups of low carb marinara sauce. I think that's a thin layer right there. I mean, place a layer of eggplant planks followed by a thick layer of tofu, ricotta, then more marinara. Repeat until you run out of eggplant. Oh, look at that. All right, guys, so look at this. This is sweaty eggplant. The osmosis is clearly doing its thing. Actually, was I supposed to pat them down? I gotta pat them down. Okay, before you get to this step, guys, make sure you pat them down, make sure they're bone dry, because that's the whole point. We're trying to remove the moisture, not just let it sit. And then we have to brush it with a little bit of oil. Do I not have a brush? You know what? That's something I've been meaning to get for a long time, is a little like oil brush. I thought I had one, but I guess I don't anymore. Well, we're doing this old fashioned. Guys, get a brush. Get an actual brush. Okay, give it a good patting with oil. I'm getting a brush next week, okay? This is ridiculous. And then we put a layer of the ricotta tofu on top. I feel like we're gonna only be able to like do 2 layers of this. We did the eggplant, the ricotta, now we do more marinara. So good and tasty. You pat dry aggressively, Dad. Well, I gotta make sure it gets it out of there, okay? It says do this until you run out of eggplant, but we're gonna run out of freaking everything else first. We might need a little bit of more marinara sauce just to cover this up. Yeah, let's get a little bit more marinara sauce. Sprinkle the crushed walnuts. Oh yeah, we need walnuts, guys. Walnuts, yeah, well, the walnuts is for the crust. What Gemini wants me to do, okay? I ain't gonna argue with the AI overlords, all right? So we need half a cup of walnuts. And we gotta crush them. What better way to crush them than with a meat pounder? Sprinkle of crushed walnuts on top. Wait a second. Did I completely screw this up? Oh God, I completely screwed this up, guys. I technically could salvage it, but it's a lot of work. I had to roast the eggplant first before doing all of this stuff. I could technically just take the eggplants out and like clean them up and put them in the oven. You guys wanna do that? But the cheese, no, we're gonna let the cheese stay out. Change of plans, guys. We are going to do a little bit of that. I'm assuming parchment paper is needed. It didn't specify, so we're making it up on the spot. We're just gonna do this. It'll be all right. We're just removing the goodies from the eggplant. Yeah, we have the cheese marinara sauce for later. Exactly. It's gonna be okay, guys. Should have fixed the order of instructions. No, technically this was my bad. The order of the instructions are correct, but in the process of making the cheese, I completely forgot about the other part. But we have the ricotta cheese sauce for later. I feel like this is gonna be okay. You know, look at that. Doesn't that look great? Now this is gonna be in for 15 minutes. And pray. So what it's doing right now is we're just cooking it to the point where it's like roasted but not mushy. We'll see if we can accomplish that. Oh, God, my freaking glasses. We have these, they look roasted, not mushy. That's good, that's a good step. We might have salvaged it. I'm gonna put all of this into its own bowl. Look at that, so good. Oh God. We gotta spread a thin layer at the bottom. That looks interesting, yeah. So while we're doing this, we're gonna bring the oven down to 375. We can put these on and pretend like it makes sense. Are we winning? Oh, it's gonna be good. Now that it's perfect, we cover the final layer with sauce and sprinkle the crushed walnuts on top. Probably the best part about this entire recipe. We gotta cover it in foil. Let's all make an agreement. Let's never put keto and vegan together ever again. I can get behind that. Whenever the oven is at 375 degrees, put it in there for 25 minutes. So we have to take it out and then remove the foil and then let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. It smells like cheesy lasagna. We might be onto something. I'm gonna set the timer for 12 minutes and 30 seconds. It is officially ready. It's been in the oven with the foil removed. Let's go and see how it looks. Oh God, there goes my glasses. Foggy glasses. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't smell bad. We have to let it cool down for 10 minutes. Honestly, letting it sit and cool down is the hardest part, but science demands it. When the lasagna is piping hot, the fibers in the eggplant and the proteins in the tofu are relaxed and slippery. As it cools slightly, the starches and the proteins undergo gelatinization and coagulation, firming up the structure. It's been about 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. Let's get our big knife. This is an old tray. I don't care about scratching it, okay? Let's get a little plate. Spatula there. We're gonna go ahead and try this. Saying I'm nervous would be putting it lightly. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. Hold on. I could eat this. It looks like absolute baby crap. And if you have a texture thing, this will not do it for you. But the flavor is actually pretty good. I am shocked. I am genuinely shocked. It even tastes like it has cheese in it. This is kind of blowing my mind a little bit. From a looks and aesthetics perspective, it's disgusting. But once you put it in your mouth, it's actually not too bad. When the stream's over, I'm gonna eat more of this. It's actually good enough for me to eat off stream. And the eggplant, it isn't that bad. Like, you don't really taste the eggplant too much at all. I hate to say it, guys, but this is a win. This will be going on my recipe blog. This is definitely one of those trust the process kind of recipes. All right, guys, well, I was expecting a total disaster, but it's actually pretty good. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more cooking videos like this. I go live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube every week, assuming I don't have life stuff going on, and those are on Fridays. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.